Hi, we just got back from the 2025 Realm Makers Christian Fantasy Fiction Writers Conference, and we wanted to give you an update and just thank you so much for believing in us and sending us to go to lead the prayer team and also be able to give a pitch for Don's book. And so we just wanted to share a few highlights from the weekend. I was there mainly in charge of the prayer care station. It was a neat experience for us for the first time because we actually had ordered a backdrop and a tablecloth and our shirts with our brand on it, and to be able to have a real visible presence there and a clear place for people to come for prayer care. I had met with the volunteers online, gave them a little coaching and a little experience in listening to the Lord in prayer and then how to lead other people into listening to the Lord in prayer. And so they would come and go for their hour. They would prayer walk. I gave them a sheet about just some guidelines for that, some help with that, prayer walking, and also just inviting people into listening to the Lord in prayer and being able to bring whatever emotions they're feeling to Him. And we had written out prayers that we had printed that were a prayer for your pitch that people could work through, and we had those posted different places, like on the hallway where people would go into the book agents and pitch their book idea. And so it's just a really cool experience. I stayed at the table, so I had individuals too that would come by there and drop off prayer requests or pray with me, had the volunteers going back and forth, and just had a lot of people come by and say, we're so thankful that there is a prayer care station, that there is an emphasis on prayer at this conference, and to just thank us for being there. And so that was really cool that we all had name tags that said prayer team on it, and so we had our little group that were all walking around part of that prayer team and available for people to stop and ask for prayer. I just felt like everything went really well, and we had some just neat individual times to pray through things with other authors, and so it was a really neat experience. So that was mainly my side of it, staying there at the prayer care station. I'm going to share about the book side of it, the author side of it.
Yeah, so with the prayer care stuff, it was interesting because I was given favor the entire time, given opportunities to pray in front of the whole crowd of 600 authors there, and even got to meet some of my favorite authors and hit it off really well with them. But one of the neat things was I got to meet some of the major agents, some of which I was not even scheduled to pitch for because I couldn't get an appointment for them, and the Lord just opened the doors for me. So one of the ways that happened was there was a pitch that got canceled for some reason. I wasn't able to go to it. I went, and someone else was scheduled in my spot. And I was able to pitch a little bit for that agent, but just enough that I was able to realize I should do this a different way. And so I switched. Instead of pitching my book, I pitched my entire series. All three agents that I pitched to really loved the book, loved the idea of it. And one of the coolest things was just seeing the place that was canceled. I actually got to talk to the girl running the time clock outside the door, and she said, just pitch it to me. I want to hear your pitch. And so I pitched it to her, and she loved it. And so when we were sitting at the table with this major agent later on, she shifts the conversation from her book over to my book and says, my book's good, but you really need to hear his book. You need to hear his pitch. And so I got to pitch before two major agents. And it was just amazing because the more I shared, the more excited they got, even to the point where they said, here's my card, send it directly to me, attach it to this email, and now all I have to do is finish the book.
It's easy.
Easy.
Okay. Yeah.
Easy.
So the volunteer coordinator actually, too, came by the prayer team table and said, are you guys going to do this next year? And so it sounds like there's openness and favor for us to do that next year, too. So we're pretty excited about that. So as you can see, we just had a lot of great experience on the side of the prayer care table. And also Don just saying his pitches couldn't really gone any better, and riding that wave of excitement and just thankfulness on the way home. And we left on Monday morning early, started to drive home from Michigan, Pennsylvania to get the kids. And we felt this terrible shaking in the car, and we got out, and there should be 5 lug nuts and stems that hold your tire onto your wheel, and there was only 1. And so I don't know how close we were to losing a tire on the highway. It really can be something that makes you forget about all the good that you just experienced because you're consumed with these new worries. So I just want to focus on the things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that we checked it when we did. My mom buys AAA for us, so we were able to call a tow truck to come and get us for free. We called around different shops trying to find a place to get in, and most of them were busy. And then one guy called us back like a minute later after we hung up with him, and he said, actually, we just had a cancellation. We do have space for you to come in. Why don't you come in now? He said, it must have been meant to be. And so we were able to go to his shop, and he was really nice. And it did take up a lot of our day on Monday, and we weren't really sure what to do with our day, but we were able to get done by the end of the afternoon and be able to get to his parents by midnight, and it ended up costing less than we expected. Yeah. So all of that, you have to stop and think, oh, this is a big headache, but all those things I really am thankful for how they ended up going, and really how the Lord is protecting us and providing for us and taking care of these things. We just want to thank you for being able to send us on this journey and be able to have these experiences together, and just to see where that goes too. Doing this with other organizations or other kind of conferences.
Yep,
So-
and it sets us up really well because Jen's prayer walking guide that she just honed once again for this group, the pitch prayer that she set up with the audio, if you go to praythrough.com/writers, you can see some of that. And it looks like we are set up to potentially lead the Evangelical Theological Society Conference's prayer team. They don't have one. And then the president said we would have to start one, and we'll see whether or not he's serious about that, if he'll let us do that, because that would be really huge for us to do that. I'm presenting a paper on prayer up and coming in November. It would be amazing if we could lead the prayer team as well. So thank you guys for supporting us. Continue to pray for us. As you can tell, we got a lot of exciting things, and we also have a lot of things that we need your prayer protection for. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you.